And your stuff is pretty good.
I don't know, I mean, it's not future. It's not future.
Well, you did good on getting the symbols. Did you do good on reading your part?
I got a lot of things, but do they make any sense? I mean, what was the information that I already knew from conversation before it started?
Yeah,
And
you do know each other a little
yeah.
bit. So. But were there any things that she picked up, that Cindy picked up?
Well,
Susan?
she said a greenhouse, and I grew up in a large lead sort of house.
Mhm.
Hair, coffee, Sunday, map.
Yeah. Mhm. What else?
What
What else
did
did you pick up on Susan?
Oh, I don't know, there was just little things, but it was like, I don't know that any of them made any sense, so.
Well, she's the only one can tell you if it makes any sense.
Right, so
She just shared what she said, made sense.
Yeah.
1, 2.
But,
Yeah.
And, going to the beach and going to a restaurant, well, that right there, and Mackin, you said beach and going to Mackin, well, when we get down to Florida, we're having company, so we're going to the beach and we're
Right.
at the restaurant, so.
but I saw that on the East Coast, like I saw where she lives on the West Coast, and I saw this straight red line on a map going horizontal and going down, and that's where she was, at a beach and a cafe and just laughing. So what I saw, and, it's sort of hard to connect. Yeah, they live on the west. But what was really interesting is when we disconnected the chakras with her, when we disconnected the throat, my head went like this, and when we disconnected the brow, my head went like this, and when we disconnected the crown, my head went like this, and it was like, my neck was so far over, it was like, I felt like, if it went any further. Yeah. And it was weird because my head was way over here, and it wasn't until, I couldn't even move my head until you were up higher on the wide awake script.
Right.
So it's sort of like I was really physically detaching away from her, or those cords, or whatever, were holding my head here. But it was the wildest experience because my head, it just went there, and it wasn't going to move once the third one got disconnected.
God, I don't know what to tell you on that one.
That was cool.
It was cool?
Yeah.
My neck almost twisted off, but it was cool.
Well, it was just the relationship of it all, of how it just pooped each time.
5 degrees. Click, click.
Yeah. It was like disconnected.
What'd you get on her?
Just at her work, she was wearing a white coat, and there was lots of jars around her, like she had her business, stuff in it, medical stuff and whatever.
Right.
And she just was rearranging, opening areas, she didn't want any dark spaces, and breaking down boundaries, and just moving forward and having lots of white and clear spaces. And that she was speaking to others, sharing, not as a lecturer, but just as sharing to others. And that she was giving healing to a monkey with long hair.
She had long hair, the monkey had long hair.
No, the monkey had long
It
hair.
had more human features.
So that was all work related.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't understand that it was all work related.
Okay, was it accurate? I mean, there's accuracy in there?
I don't wear a white coat, and jars, I don't have any jars of medicine. I have bottles of water, little waters that I give everybody, but
Yeah.
the other thing was opening areas and dark areas. I mean, I wish the reception area was larger because that's where I conduct my classes. I tear down the reception area and turn that, so I wish I had a larger space. So that would be a wish list thing. And speaking to others, actually, I was thinking about, how could you do this exercise of telepathy in a small group situation?
Just like we just did it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what would be the purpose of doing this, and how would anybody ever use this? I mean,
This is really more for proving to a group the validity of some of this stuff, psychic ability, because everybody will get something. In Sedona, which is a much more high energy, and that's where I normally do it, but this got to be good energy here, God, with Lilydale right next door, and the lake, it's got to be pretty similar to what we could attain in Sedona.
Vortex right there.
Yeah. yeah. So, but everybody would get stuff. And I have conducted it all over the world, and everybody gets stuff all the time. Sedona will get sometimes 100%. And here we have 100%. People picked up on the symbols, hits that are for sure. Because out of 4,000 symbols in that one book alone, those, what you got here, are not in any of the other symbols. Or maybe there'd be a circle or something like that would be part of it. But no, this definitely shows that everybody has telepathic ability. So if you're going to do, now everything I'll be sharing with you here is for group or individual. And so you could do it individually, but the fun of this one was a group. If you're doing something with a group, the symbol, the one symbol that is more effective than any other is that circle with a triangle with a circle in the middle of it, for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it projects through. People get that. And I think it was in a Colin Wilson book where he said, this symbol just cuts through everything else. And so I tried it and I found it does the same. And I've got all kinds of symbols, bird of peace, and I've got the wavy lines that are from the psychic deck, the Zener deck. But nothing cuts through like that one with the triangle. I get all or part of that one. So you may be doing a demonstration session some night, and you've only got a couple hours. Right? That's a session you can do real quick. And then everybody is like, oh my God, you know, when they realize that they have done it. So you're empowering them in a way and turning them on to the idea, well, if I can do that, maybe I can do something else and something else. So that's where you'd use this.
How would you,
The pyramid in itself holds a lot of energy.
Sure.
Maybe
I agree.
how would there be any use for it in a client application?
That's
No.
what I was just gonna say, doing Reiki, absolutely, when you're connecting those chakras, and sometimes they have perceptions, they don't even realize they're having them. And if you have them with them, and you can ask the
Well, that would
questions
work.
and
Yeah.
feel them out.
Yeah. They're really feeling then that there's going to be a connection. Yeah.
So,
Oh, absolutely.
so you would really have to connect just one-sided, right, with intention?
Well,
As, you know, I would just connect one-sided with the crown, with the third, with the,
but, yeah,
Like when you do with Tara and she connects, you're doing the process with them, and she's connecting and she's getting the images. as
Yeah.
well.
and we'll usually hold hands, you know, sometimes with a crystal even between our hands, as we're both sending. And so it's just a demonstration, really, Cindy. It could be very valuable, but you are a metaphysical practitioner. So the more you know about metaphysics, the better. The more you've experienced metaphysics, the better. Because you want to be able to talk any aspect of it. And I know when I was having a Reiki treatment last week, Bliss picked up several different things and then asked me about them. And boy, some of it sure was accurate. And so I can see the value of that from a Reiki point of view.
what about animal communication? Is this a way that somehow you would do that, or is it done differently?
It's quite a little bit different. Tara's a specialist on that. I've had 2 or 3 different animal communicator specialists on my radio show. They all seem to work differently. I've learned enough techniques through them, especially through Tara's effectiveness with it, that I can definitely see a reaction in the animal when I am sending, like say pink light. If I focus upon pink light, they will be inclined to come in and be more trusting and be more receptive.
I tried that on my cat, and he did come to me.
Yeah. Now Hunter and Cheyenne wanted to learn really learn about energy. And so they both took a class under Fatima, who is a Brazilian healer. And boy, she is incredible. And they took it for several weeks. And Hunter's found that he could use it on girls and would attract them in. He seems to have forgotten he learned all that since, because he was just complaining to me about, no, girls weren't interested in me. Get out of here. But he could demonstrate it with animals like crazy. And Tara took him into the Everglades while I was doing a seminar in Fort Lauderdale, and they had the afternoon off, and they went into the Everglades in a boat, and he got into a spot where they had a lot of animals contained, and he started doing his energy tricks, and they just had an incredible reaction. I mean, he said even the turtle was trying to get out to get to him, and the owners came out and they said, what is going on? I've never seen the turtle do anything like that. And there was something, swinging in the swing, and it was just going nuts, but Hunter was projecting energy. And so that gets people interested, and they realize they can do that sort of thing.
Maybe there's a similar technique to make animals go away, like roaches?
Yeah, maybe there is. Maybe there is. I used a technique that I learned from, the guy that, a big author in the Southwest. And, damn it, what's his name? I'll think of it after the fact, but he had all sorts of problems with critters around his home in the desert. And so he simply asked them to go away. He said, I don't want to hurt you, I certainly don't want to hurt you, so please go away. This is my territory and that's yours. And I won't encroach and I won't harm you and you don't harm me. And he said, none of it, it just overnight, it changed everything. Well, I decided to do it in regard to rattlesnakes because we lived in a desert, much more of a desert area in Scottsdale, and it was out on the edge of things, and boy, the rattlesnakes had just come in like crazy. And so I asked, in fact, one got in, we converted the garage to a studio. And I didn't yet put a strip underneath the door. And I was sitting at my drawing board and I looked down, and here is a very large diamondback rattler just crawling around under my drawing board. And I'm barefooted. And it was, oh my God. And so I, was able to I'm used to rattlesnakes, so I got him into, he never coiled on me or did anything where I felt in danger, but I got him into the wastebasket, and then I tilted it up, and I knew he couldn't get out. So I had to talk with him. And I said, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to put you out here in the Indian reservation. And but you tell your friends, don't come around the house anymore. And I'll respect, you respect me, I'll respect you. And I had to kill several of them up until that time. And I let him go on the reservation, and I never had a rattlesnake problem again. So, catch a couple of them, Isabel, and have a talk to them. A telepathic talk.
We were at a restaurant, and of course, when lots of mediums get together, there's lots of energy there, and there's this fly that kept bothering us, and then one lady said, you over there, don't bother us, and the fly left us. She said, go.
I like that one.
Dick, I was raised in Abilene, Texas, more or less, when I wasn't in a reform school, that's most of the time. And they had a rattlesnake hunt 40 miles from my house, and tons of them suckers.
Oh, I know.
I joined them when I was about 8 or 9 years of age, and they went in a circle. It's Sweetwater, Texas, quite famous for that. And they sold rattlesnake sandwiches. I eat one of them. They're not too bad.
Yeah,
They're a little bit like chicken, and it's a clean, very clean. Old rattler is very clean.
Yeah.
But that was quite an experience.
Yeah, an 8-year-old's too young to be going on a snake hunt.
8 or 9, 10, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm confused most of the time.
Okay, well, on that note, we are taking a lunch break. It's 1 o'clock.